muted, but this is the unknown. He's almost a Grandmaster Junkrat and is a loss. These are all the things I look for.
Now enter.
Yep, the unknown. Looks like he has Sinatra and Zoms in his team, so we can see how this guy plays with some really good players. Don't really recognize any names on this side. So let's see what he does. And it is a loss, I'm guessing, right? Yeah, it's a loss.
Prepare your defenses.
And we don't need all of these Ps. We just need 480 of them.
Select your hero.
Great. 1 minute.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
So of course that's a good place to shoot, but if they got a Widow, you run the risk of just getting killed. Because that's definitely lining up a shot on you. Alright, good. Yep, so the big thing you gotta worry about here is the Widow. Alright, at this time, you may want to start backing up even more, because it looks like, yeah. And now with a pick, perfect. I like that trap, in case the Genji dashes up for you. Now, most likely, the Widow is going to be looking for you. Alright, good job. There's that, yep. So that's kind of expected. You were busy with the Genji, so it went... They did a good job suppressing you, then getting you with that Widow. It's very common for the Widow. So, let me pull up. I do. This is very common tactics in anything. And... I just breathed my face for a second. What they did here is, like, verbatim what most any lineup will do. So what they do, until that first pick off, they're just looking to push you back. And then from there, they're looking to see what vulnerabilities you have and if they can get the pick or not. You didn't really have any... I didn't see any shielders, so you couldn't just sit there and hold that space. And this is kind of the bad part about not using like Orisa or Reinhardt, is as they push forward with just damage, you have to retreat, and then from there they're going to look to get an angle. Now you retreated properly. You went like on the bridge to the backside of the bridge, and then you jumped up and you went back to that back corner, which is great. But the thing is, remember, you're giving up space, and as soon as you give up space, what you want the offense wants to do is they want to get around you and apply pressure from more sides. So we can see that's exactly what they did, and this is kind of like just like Overwatch 101. So they put pressure here, and you didn't have any main tanks here, so you kind of had to back up. And you backed up from here to here, and finally to here. And that's all right. Like, you made the right moves, but as you retreat backwards, they're going to start taking this. And at first, they don't have a line, right? You're way back here. But as they rotate, as the offense rotates, even right here, all of a sudden, all right, they got you. And then where the Widow finally got you was right here. And look how far back you would have to play to not get shot by her. It's just... you should expect that, because that's what proper strategy dictates. Yeah. Again, remember, giving up space reveals flanks. I talked about this almost a couple years ago on King's Row. This applies to I think every map currently. Every time you retreat, they get more angles to attack you from. So when you're retreating, remember you have to watch your flanks even harder. Oh, sorry. It's over here. So I think you did the right thing. They just had a Widow. You needed to play better. You needed to play safer. Because you're getting to that... I mean, you're at Essentially, this is my SR range, 4250. Like, this is kind of where I chill at. Yeah, you have to start respecting Widows to land the shot with just with a second opening. Durban, thank you for the review. Also, Mini Mori Midi Dory, tier 1 subscription. Thank you, sir. Okay. Alright, good. That's not push. I heard. Okay, you used trap. Alright. So you're holding right side, which, you can hold right side or left side. I don't think there is a correct answer just yet. Since they have a Widow, I'm leaning more towards right side. But when you're on the left side, you do get access. Bring up this picture. So the two main spots to defend from for Junkrat are here and here. They have good shots from here and up here on you. If you start scooting out this way or too far this way. The nice part about being on this side is that you can go under. This is actually quite valuable. As a Junkrat, I actually like positioning here. I'll usually roam in this area. Because when you're right here against the wall, snipers can't get to you. They have a second. They have small openings that they get from you right from here to here. But they're tough openings. Also, if they're always shielding forward, if they're going across the bridge, you have easy access to the back lines. Same thing, if they dive in here, you have easy access to the back lines. So that's why I like this side. This side is a shit ton safer. It's just phenomenally safe. Watch out, the sniper can still get a line on you. But again, you can press up to this wall. If they don't have a Widow or a Hanzo, they don't got a sniper, so you don't have to deal with that. Yes, what you were doing over here, and you were shelling this and this over the wall, it's a really good Junkrat spot. And especially if they start running in here, it's a closed-in area, you have, I would say, a significant advantage. They're going to have a hard time doing that. The big thing is, and we may see this in this video, that you need to watch out for, is if they get on point, and then they go to this side. If you get separated from your team over here, you're going to die. You can retreat back here, just waste time. You can kind of go here. You could go all the way around. But just remember, usually only Junkrats will sit over here, or maybe one other hero. The rest of the team is going to be like right here, maybe a couple people back here. So you just have to be wary of getting separated from your team too much. Doc Potter, I believe I refunded your one because of the trap. It was a win. And that's Tracer. You got her once, which is really good. They have it. She has Lucio though. So that's kind of it happened as I expected. Let me just go back, double check. I'm pretty sure they went on point, and then they went towards you. Yep. Standard review. I don't even know I got that on right now. But yeah, so exactly what I said was going to happen did happen. Did I turn on the lift redemptions? Not really. I don't know why that started happening. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, so this is classic Anubis. Throw out feelers. You tried. Now what you could have done there, just because of the Lucio boost and Genji Blade, that's really tough to deal with. Yeah, turn it off, Tree. If you can. Good shots. She died. So, I mean, not much you can do when you get solo ulted. It wasn't a solo ult. It was a decent ult. Got 2 people. Yep. Okay. You're dead. Yeah, I mean, not much you can do about that except for just getting out of there. Okay, that works. That was a key DMAC actually. There's a bomb again. So yeah, so you just want to hug a corner better. And don't be afraid to double mind jump out of a D.Va ult. You should have been on alert as soon as the Tracer dove and got a pick. You needed to know something was coming. And usually you have to back up because you don't have an actual tank to sit behind. You kind of have to rely more on mobility. So that was good. Again, the Genji's coming for you. Genji's right out here. Good. Trying to fight your way out. Keeping this distance, not a bad idea. Yep, Trick's fine. I think you played that fine. Someone is contesting on point, and you didn't really want to contest yourself because you're just going to die faster. It's best to try to get a pick over there. And they get it. So when playing against dive, and when you have a dive lineup yourself, you can't really depend on your tanks to save you. You have to learn to retreat and keep on pulling people back and back and back. You were in a little bit of a shady spot. So you were holding right here. And the problem is you're too far away from this. Way too far away from this. Your best chance is going here, but you can't attack at the same time you're out here. You're back here. Yeah. So this is too much in the open for my likings. Like, essentially, the no man's zone that I would say would be, like, probably here. Something like that. I wouldn't want to be in this area at all. It's too open. With no shields, you can't hide behind anything. You're quite vulnerable to anything that comes into play. And at this level, I'm just gonna say positioning is king. That's all that's what it comes down to. You have to be so scared that you're playing defensive. That's what happens against dive. You will always be getting aggressed on. You have to back up as soon as they use their abilities. You know, keep on moving with that. Feels like I'm reviewing my own. Maybe am I? No, I'm not the unknown. Alright. So you did good. And I think you did things well there. This is all fine.
Objective A captured. Commence attack on objective B.
You could probably get, you can probably get healed by your supports there. Watch that Genji on your right. Yep. I mean, you kind of knew he was going to be there, too.
If at first you don't succeed, blow it up again. You'll like this one.
Yep. So you knew where the Genji was. You have to prepare for that. He's going for the back lines. Technically, at the time you were a backliner. Also, Genjis and Tracers will try to pick on Junkrats. It's just kind of in their blood. That's a good hit. Okay, you already lost one. You just need to die right now. Oh. Okay. You know, there are better ways to die and not better ways to die. So that was what it was.
Just how I drew it up.
Usually, if someone on your team gets picked before your team is on the point, usually you're going to lose. So you can just back out immediately. How often do I learn something when doing these reviews? I don't know, every now and then. Alright, the Tracer's picked. What? The Genji may target you. Yep, he did. There he is. So, I'm just going to tell you this from experience. This Genji and this Tracer will jump on you every time you ult. I almost 100% guarantee it. Yeah. At this point, you want to get a little bit closer. You're a bit unreliable at this range. You guys gotta get out of there. I think this is to your right? There you go, backing out. Yeah, you need to back out even farther. Yeah, I'd still back out farther than this. Okay, you're getting more teammates. You should be okay-ish.
The hunter lays a trap for his prey.
This is... Alright, cool. Lucky your team came back for you. You're playing a little scared. Yeah, a lot of hesitation. As soon as you see or hear D.Va's ult, you have to start looking for cover immediately.
Well, that's a fine how do you do?
It's the first review? Yes, it is. Alright, you want to get to the right side, personally. Okay, that was good. You went left. So, 2 CP is being 2 CP. Overall, not doing too bad. Making a couple positioning mistakes, but that's about it. Now they're not... Well, they ran a Widow last time, so expect that. So you hit something over there, so I almost guarantee that was the Widow. You need to get some form of pick. Ooh. No. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's very dangerous.
60 seconds.
I'd actually peek over that edge a little bit. Genji's to your immediate left. Okay. Almost got her. I would be careful about peeking this way. Oh, Widow's dead. Alright, now you'd want to put pressure. This is kind of where you flip that switch and jump in there.
30 seconds.
Oh god, why'd you listen to me? So, I think you had the right idea, just a little bit overcommittal by dropping down. Just poking your head out that window and looking around is pretty much all you need as your commitment.
10 seconds.
Destroyed. Don't go in. This may be a little bit too close. Okay, you're hugging the wall. This is the Widow.
30 seconds.
Okay, you made it up. And again, with point 1 on this one, on Anubis, you shouldn't have used your ult there. Like, there was no way any of that was happening. Okay, reposition the trap, good. I would say you played that one decently. They all had all their ults. And this is kind of why you needed to hold your tire. Was that they used 3 ults to crush that left side. You had to deal with it somehow, but you didn't have an ult to deal with it for. And I don't know if any positioning fixes would have actually made you survive 3 ults. Because they Winston, Genji, Lucio, Diva ulted to get that point.
Capture objective A.
Right. You guys got 3 minutes. Anything can happen on Anubis. You get full hold from 7 minutes. That's dive. So first things first, you're gonna have to try to bully whoever's up there away from it. All right, you got the Widow. She's probably gonna get res, but now's when you have to apply pressure. The Genji's still back there. They're shooting? Trap down. This is a good spot to be. Yeah, they probably won't make a first point defense. Got the Widow.
Objective A captured. Commence attack on objective B.
Okay, I like all these angles. Going closed in area. Alright, good. Again, yep. So that is just not backing out far enough. That's kind of what I needed. That's kind of what I was saying beforehand. On the first time you were attacking, I'm like, you need to be back even more. When they have high dive targets, if your team's not alive, they're going to jump on you.
60 seconds remaining.
Remember, the Genji will come for you. Yep. That's something. Yeah, there's someone coming for you. Probably the Tracer then.
30 seconds remaining.
Sucks you didn't get that out. So that's fine. It's kind of how I probably would have played it. There's another Genji ult.
10 seconds.
Yeah, Genji ult's a bitch, man. That's gonna be it. It wasn't a bad attempt. But your problems are very easily resolved. Because you're getting to the point. Is it? So you're getting to the point, and I would say at this level, your accuracy needs to be up. It was okay. You can work on it over time. There's no real like secret way to do this. But your issue, I think, is purely from position. Logistics, like, your ability usage was fine. Mines were fine. Yeah, your traps were in decent spots. You got a couple trips here and there. Did good there. But this is more of like how information relates to position, and you need to play. You have to tighten up this difference between playing passive and playing greedy. When you have no one out and they're running dive, when you can't just retreat to an entrance. Like, you can't just be outside of their point. You will still die. If they can go to the edge of where they feel comfortable and dive on you, that's still a threat range. And that's where you died a couple times, just really far out there. You were within one movement ability away from a safe spot from them. And that's how you kept on dying. You have to tighten up this space. Like, either play passive and play passive, or play greedy and go all in. That's kind of how I work. So we talked about your positioning on the point. Like, this was the point. You're playing out in the open here, all the way over here. You actually needed to be fully committed to a side. Fully committed to a side. And I know the space doesn't seem like much, but you're getting to the point where snipers will not miss. I mean, they miss, but you can't depend on that. Like, they're going to get you. If you're away from your team by this far, they will jump on this point and separate you from your team, and you will lose. You have to start tightening up this play between greedy and passive. And I don't like passive, I should say safe. Yeah, and to me, this is what Overwatch is all about, is positioning and dialing in this between safe play and greedy play. Yeah, I think that's it. Information at this level, flankers will, when ulting, watch for dive. Tracers, Genjis, Divas, Winstons, as soon as they hear your ult go off, they're going to try to dive you and kill you. Now, you can try to bait them in with this or not. That's up to you. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on, where is where. But you can count on them taking advantage of this. Positioning again. What else you need to work on? I mean, pretty much this. This is everything you need to work on. Stick to a side, stick to a strategy, stick to a concept. Don't try to split the middle, because they're going to take advantage of whatever side you're more the middle on, right? If you're playing in the middle, they're going to attack you here, attack you here. If you try to pick a side a little bit, they're going to take advantage of whichever side, you know, you're not committed that far on. Yeah, and that's what it is. If dives here, they can kill you if you're here or here. But if you're right off to one of these edges, one, you can still retreat and you pull them way off point. Or as they're looking this way, your team kills the other people. Essentially, by you splitting up, you force the enemy to split up. But you're a Junkrat, so you have the long-range advantage, more or less. So if they're not paying attention to you, you can still get your maximum damage out. But if they commit to you, then your team has the advantage because their guys are so far away from them. Essentially, it forces the team to split up. And since you have the long-range advantage, you can say, all right, I'm fine with splitting up. I can still do work from here. While them with dive is a more of a close quarters type thing. They have to go, oh, do we want to sacrifice our Tracer or Genji or whoever going way over to the side to deal with this Junkrat who can just retreat and buy more time? Or do we stick with them in the death ball and try to jump on the other part of the team? Right? You're trying to make them make more choices, and it's not like there's any wrong or right choice, but there's no such thing as a perfect response. So whatever they choose, whatever the response is, you have to take advantage for it for whatever its advantages or weaknesses are. And that is it. For my thing to work on. It's interesting.